Breaking news in Greensboro, where officers are on the scene at an IHOP off of Wendover Avenue.
Now let's get right to WFMY News 2's Sydney Moore, who is on that scene. Sydney, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, a domestic situation is what caused a lot of police to come here to this area. It's right near Lanata Road. And if you're familiar with this area, you know that there are plenty of businesses, restaurants, Chick-fil-A, just a very busy areas, as well as in hotel. I'm going to step out of the way here, and my photographer is going to show you this busy scene that is still out here. Several police. Now, during this investigation, a struggle occurred between a person and the officer. And during that struggle, a firearm was then discharged and struck the officer in the leg. Now, the officer that was involved was then sent to a local hospital, with police saying that that person has non-life-threatening injuries at this moment. Now, the person involved was taken into custody. She sustained minor injuries as a result of the struggle. Now, they are still investigating the firearm that was used within this incident, but we, of course, are going to continue to stay on this and provide you more updates as they come.
At least 64 people are dead in Kentucky from Friday's devastating tornado outbreak across parts of Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tennessee. President Joe Biden declared a major disaster on Sunday, making federal funding available to those impacted by that storm.
The severe storms affected at least 7 other states, killing at least 12 others. Dozens of people remain unaccounted for. Survivors from Kentucky describe the horror they witnessed.
They said take cover, and I could still see him when they yelled take cover, and I don't know what happened, how I got out and he didn't.
They told us it was a tornado warning coming and everybody need to go for shelters, and all of a sudden everything started caving in on everybody. Nobody seen it coming.
Both leg was twisted, my arm is twisted. To release my feet, I have to let go my 2 shoes. There was a small light in there, so I climbed up myself.
Triad organizations are doing their part to help with recovery efforts after deadly tornadoes ripped through Kentucky and Mid-South states. The American Red Cross already deployed 2 people from the Piedmont-Triad to Mayfield, Kentucky. It also deployed 3 disaster workers from the Greater Carolinas region to Kentucky and Sandburg, Tennessee. Piedmont-Triad Executive Director John Hughes says the number of volunteers sent from our area is expected to grow significantly over the next few days.
We get a better picture of what's going on, what the specific needs are. We're not going to send people to the area until we know exactly what's needed, what types of skills are needed. But we do know right now sheltering and feeding and caring for those folks that are affected is tremendous and needed.
Saturday night, at least 8 emergency shelters opened in Kentucky, providing safe refuge to about 190 people. Shelters are also open in Tennessee. As of Sunday, the Red Cross has shipped over 200 units of blood to hospitals in the affected areas. Hughes says in addition to boots on the ground, the organization is offering virtual support.
As I talked about the mental health or spiritual care, even some of our casework can be done virtually, so that a person can be talking on the telephone to the client, to the affected individual.
Meanwhile, Samaritan's Purse spent the morning deploying trucks from their base in North Wilkesboro. The group sent 3 staff members to affected areas in Arkansas and Kentucky.
But as we celebrate Christmas, we want to remember the people that have been affected in these areas and in other areas that are still dealing with storms. And so I think Christmas is a time of hope, and we want to bring hope to these folks that have been affected by these storms.
If you'd like to volunteer, you can go to SamaritanPurse.org, or the Red Cross says the public can help in assisting communities impacted by this weekend's tornadoes by donating blood or making a monetary donation.
So the severe weather that moved through portions of the Midwest, the Southeast, and even portions of the southern Ohio Valley has been coined the name most recently the Quad State Tornado, impacting 4 states in a matter of 4 hours: Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. I'm going to step out just so you can see the storm reports along this area. Now, zooming in a little bit closer, looking at these storm reports, it looks as though one possible tornado could have tracked this distance. And again, this is looking at northeastern Arkansas, crossing over Tennessee. Then we're going into Kentucky and just clipping Missouri there. So this is a very long track. But the thing about tornadoes, unlike other severe weather events, we don't know exactly the magnitude of this thing until after we assess the damage. Take a look at this though. Roughly, just looking at where the first report was as compared to the last report, that estimates a full distance of roughly 273 miles. Like I said, extending from northeastern Arkansas all the way through Kentucky. Just to put into perspective for you, it's roughly 200 miles from here in Greensboro to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's more than that. And just think about all of the buildings and the homes and all of the places and things along that path. We've seen the imagery of the aftermath, and now meteorologists are going back into that area to sort of look and see what type of system moved through here. What was the scale of this? This is just one report. I know this is a lot in this text, but potentially at the least, we're talking an EF3. That scale goes all the way to EF5. The last time we saw in the U.S. an EF5 in a month of December was 1957. It's 2021. Overall, throughout the U.S., we've only had 19 EF4s, and in the month of December, we've had about 2 EF4s since 1950. So the likelihood of this occurring in the month of December is extremely rare. Just want to put it in perspective for you once again, only 2 during the month of December since 1950. It is 2021. This is an extremely rare weather event. Luckily enough, here at home, things are much quieter. I'm expecting that as we continue through the week, but the chance of rain does return soon, which will help us as we're continuing to go through drought conditions.
Monique, thank you. Some great perspective there. Now, this is a look at damage in Bowling Green, Kentucky, the home of Western Kentucky University. The university postponed Saturday's commencement after that severe tornado outbreak. Now, this upcoming Saturday, their football team will head to Florida to play App State in the Boca Raton Bowl. The Mountaineers will play the Hilltoppers on the field, but also plan to help the community surrounding Western Kentucky. Athletic Director Doug Gillen came up with the idea to have fans bring items to athletic events to donate to Western Kentucky. They've been collecting things like bleach, gloves, and goggles to give the school to help in cleanup efforts, as well as bottled water and canned goods. So far, they filled up 2 vans full of supplies. App State spokesperson Sarah Strickland says this is something bigger than sports.
I think, athletics is a family, but, whether it's within or whether it's against an opponent, whether it's within the conference or nationwide, and you just want to provide some hope and provide some support for someone and just know that, we're all in this together, regardless of what colors we wear or what our letters are.
Strickland says they've been impressed so far with the response. They'll continue to collect items before tonight's men's basketball game. If you donate, Strickland says you can get 2 free tickets for an upcoming App State sporting event. The Black and Gold podcast that promotes App State athletics has also raised more than $10,000 to provide relief efforts as well. And for more information on how you can help, just go to WFMYnews2.com. But I thought that was so amazing how, they're going to play. App State's playing Western Kentucky, this weekend in that bowl game, and they said, you know what, we're just going to put, the competition aside, and we're really going to help these people out.
There's a time, I think, when she's right. She's like athletics as a whole, as a family. And that's the right attitude with this, because it's really not about that competition. And of course, they both want to play this game and win it, but it's about helping each other.
It's nice to see all these different organizations coming together to provide support to other people in other states, because when I was talking to the folks with the Red Cross, and when we take a look at that video of the aftermath, it's a lot of damage, and he says they're going to be out there assisting for weeks and weeks to come. The people with Samaritan's Purse said they still had crews out helping folks down in Louisiana for Hurricane Ida, so a lot of help is needed.
Yeah, certainly just looking at those images, I'm just sitting there, trying to compose myself to prepare to do the weather, but just watching it over and over again and just imagining those used to be homes. Those used to be buildings where people would go to work every day, and some folks still today can't even find family members because of collapsed buildings and such like that. So it's just heartbreaking to hear and see those images, but it's beautiful that even children at young ages, college students, working together to say, you know what, I don't even care about the game. I just want to help my fellow brother, my fellow sister, and what have you, who are in these neighboring states who are struggling at this moment. And it's not even about the sport. I know she said it that one line, it's bigger than football, and it truly is.
Yeah, and you think about 30 tornadoes in 6 states. I mean, that is a huge amount of tornadoes, and the fact that some of them stayed on the ground for so long, from a meteorological standpoint, we're all, kind of aghast at this. But even you talk about, Monique said those are homes and memories. I read one story where some family portraits got blown out of the house, right? The house was destroyed. They went 130 miles and ended up from like Tennessee up into Illinois or somewhere up there. It was incredible, but they were found and sent back to the owners. So some rays of hope here and there.
It's a blessing.
All
right, we're going to take a short break. We're coming right back in just a minute. Stay there.
A California congressman's bill is gaining popularity for proposing 4-day work weeks in the U.S. The 32-Hour Work Week Act would create a 32-hour work week in the U.S. with any overtime paid after that. The bill will not get rid of longer work weeks, but will require employers to pay time and a half unless someone is an independent contractor or salaried worker over the summer. Researchers in Iceland found that a 4-day work week without a pay cut improved workers' well-being. The congressman who proposed the bill said the proposal stems from the pandemic, saying in part after a nearly 2-year-long pandemic that forced millions of people to explore remote work options, it's safe to say that we can't and shouldn't simply go back to normal because normal wasn't working. People were spending more time at work, less time with loved ones. Their health and well-being was worsening, and all the while their pay has remained stagnant. Can I get an amen?
We've been talking about this
Like
all
that.
day. All day. I think I would be willing to work longer days, Monday through Thursday, or whatever the day is that we get off. I would be willing to do that, to work like a 10-hour day or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
11, whatever.
I mean, I think it's amazing that, you know, Iceland did this, and they're saying that it really did improve overall health and everything and well-being for people. Sign me up.
I'm all for it. Because if you think about it, how we have the 5-day work week now, and you had those 2 days, you really only get Saturday off.
That's right.
You really only get Saturday because Sunday you're spending time getting prepared for the next work day.
Sunday's the dread day.
Yeah, the dread day. You're like,
The Sunday scaries. There's a reason why it's called that.
I looked up the study itself, and it said it lowered burnout, and I think that's what you're talking about, Lauren. You know, with those 2 days, you want a day to really just chill.
yes.
Because, you know, you get off work one day, you might want to spend time, do fun stuff one day, then the other day you're trying to go grocery shopping, prepare for the work week.
Yep.
So you never have one day to just chill.
Relax.
And you'll just have more energized, better, well-rounded employees.
Even when, because a lot of times I don't take weeks off at a time. I'd rather take a Friday or a Monday off here or
Same.
there and just sprinkle it all around. Because again, you do feel so much better if you have an extra day off.
And it gives you something to look forward to.
Yep.
Well, and I don't know about y'all, but a lot of my vacation goes to traveling. Like,
Yeah.
I never just take a vacation just to like relax. It's always like going home to see family or going on vacation. And I think a lot of times that we forget to do that. And this extra day would be amazing.
You see how much you get done if it's a weekday that you have off and you're not going anywhere?
Yeah.
You get
can make your
so much
appointments.
done. Yes.
All that stuff.
Right. So you know where our hearts are.
Yeah, I was about to say, where can we
There's-
sign or help out to
Start
get
a
the word
petition.
out
Start a
about this? Yes.
petition.
I know what'll happen. Every other type of employment will do this but news.
I
You
know,
know,
they're
but-
like, we still need you to work.
That's right, that's right. All right, we're going to take a break, so I hope the boss isn't listening, and we'll be right back.
Within the next hour, we're all going to be saying goodbye to the sun. But in the meantime, we get this beautiful image of downtown Greensboro where the blues fade into the orange and yellow hues and they cast these shadows on the buildings. The temperature as of now, 56 in Greensboro, and a nice way to end out this Monday. Temperatures across the Carolinas are all in a mix of upper 50s, 60s, warm spot down in Charleston at 67, but 56 now in the Triad. Boone Boone at 53. Temperatures a little bit cooler as we go a little bit northward. Norfolk at 54. Current temperatures across the nation are also in sort of an agreement of what they're feeling down the south and east, feeling it all in the 60s. And then as we go north, we're in the 40s. Chicago at 48 and Minneapolis at a chilling 40. High pressure in place, keeping us all quiet. Not seeing much of any activity across the Carolinas, but things do change as we go throughout the course of the week, as weather is always ever changing. As that high pressure moves further off to the east, we will gradually warm up as we get this southwest flow that will help for our temperatures towards the middle and end of the week to soar back into the 60s, where they shouldn't be for this time of year, but I'll take it as we continue to end out the work week. Now, before we get to that, there's something that you can see tonight, and that is a meteor shower. If you're up late tonight, the best time to see it between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And look in the dark areas of your sky, about 1 to 2 of these showers crossing your skies possible throughout the night. So make sure to capture, and if you can't, you can visit our website for more details on where you can see it online.
Well, it is a long-standing tradition in the Triad, and this year is one of the biggest. We are talking about the BRYAN Speaker Series. Every year, they bring an incredible list of big names to Greensboro for one memorable night. Now, this year, they're back in person, and they open next month. I spoke to Guilford College Vice President of Alumni Relations, Ty Buckner, about their upcoming season. Well, Ty, another year, another season. You guys have kind of changed things up over the last couple of years. I think everybody wants to know, what can we expect this year? Where do we stand?
We are really excited about being at the Tanger Center downtown for the BRYAN Series. We were to have been there in March of 2020. Other things happened that prevented that, but we are going to be there in a matter of another month or so. We presented some programs virtually last year, but we are an in-person event at the heart of our program. And so we're looking forward to welcoming people back in person. We, of course, will ask people to be masked. We're even asking them to be vaccinated or show a negative test for COVID.
So let's talk about that season. I mean, you guys got some really big gets this year, especially your opener.
This year we opened with Steve Martin and we closed with Rita Moreno. And it was intentional that we have sort of a bookending for our season with some iconic entertainers in a new performing arts center. And in the middle, sandwiched between those two icons, we have Yusef Salaam, a member of the Central Park Five, who has a phenomenal story to tell, Anne Lamott, a very popular author. We've got a lot of book club members in our audience. And then Jose Andres, who I would be surprised if he is not, through his World Central Kitchen, attending to the tornado disaster in Kentucky and other areas. He will also have a great presentation for us. So 5 events, we're looking forward to all of them.
Very good, Ty. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Good luck with everything. It's amazing the names that they pull. Even during pandemic last year, they had Sally Field, Oscar-winning actress. They've had they had a husband-wife team, and the husband I've seen on CNN. The wife hosts a show on another network, but they were like a power couple that they had on there, and then a guy who travels and takes incredible pictures for National Geographic. So they get really good talkers.
I mean, Steve Martin.
That's big.
Yes. He's awesome. He's so funny, but I would really love to just hear him talk about whatever.
Yes.
I can only, the one movie I think of, or what comes to mind when I think Steve Martin is Cheaper by the Dozen. I love that movie.
Gosh, I go back to watching him on Saturday Night Live when I was a kid.
He has a lot of work out there.
Yep.
I love how there's so many different types of people. Like you said, there's the entertainers, the activists, and all that. So do you pay for the whole series, or do you pay per person?
You can.
Okay.
Either way. And they're also offering, even though without the pandemic, they're offering a virtual offer as well if someone needs to watch remotely. So
wow.
It's really interesting. Yeah,
I like that.
Check it out. We've linked you to their website from ours. Just look for this story.
This week on U Day, Coach Lamont will reflect on his battle with mental illness with a few of his favorite U Day messages. And he reminds you that you are more than enough.
Can you believe that some people thought they destroyed you with their words? Can you believe that some sought to hurt you with their actions? Can you believe that some counted you out? Though many people left you for dead, you rose like the morning sun to take your position at the table of life. I don't want you to get stuck in a past season that no longer recognizes you. Yesterday no longer has power over you. I declare over your life that you will live and not die, and prosper and not miss. You are going to win and not fail, and press forth and not faint. You must decide who you want to be and what you will stand for. So rise from the dead of insecurity, rise from the dead of self-doubt. Stop focusing on what they did and focus on what you learned. It's your time. Now live. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hello, friends. I hear you getting my check. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together. And I'm walking from the bathroom all the way to here, and here I am, and still walking. And I can get into the hallway in just a second. Hello. Is that all sounding much better? This way over here. Okay. Okay.
I guess you do what everybody else does. You take it day by day and try to figure out how you live without them.
An Illinois mother is one of dozens who either lost a family member or is searching for one after deadly tornadoes trucked through several states in the Midwest and South. An Amazon warehouse was partially wiped out by those storms. 6 people were killed when the roof collapsed on the warehouse during that storm. 45 people have been rescued from the rubble.
Mayfield, Kentucky is one of the hardest hit areas from those storms. At least 8 people are dead at the Mayfield Consumer Products Candle Factory. Let's take a closer look at the search and recovery efforts underway at that factory.
Here in Mayfield, Kentucky, there is damage around every corner. Many businesses like this one no longer have walls or a roof. Here, only a bookshelf survived the storm. But the biggest effort in town remains at this Mayfield candle factory, where a search and rescue operation is approaching 60 hours. Today we were back at the site and actually got to see what was happening for the first time since Saturday morning. Heavy machinery is being used to lift pieces of roof and debris and create gaps where dogs can search for any sign of life. Operation leaders tell us they are working 12 hours on and 12 hours off with about 100 people at the site searching at all times.
As long as it takes, we'll be here. We've committed to the local emergency operations center that the group that's standing before you will take care of this site until it's done.
But it's not only devastation on every corner, it's also this. Massive shipments of supplies and donations coming to these hard-hit Western Kentucky communities from all over the country. In Mayfield, Kentucky, I'm Shay McAllister. Back to you.
2 Triad organizations are already packing up to help with recovery efforts. The American Red Cross deployed 2 people from the Piedmont-Triad chapter to Mayfield. 3 disaster workers from the Greater Carolinas region will also serve in Kentucky and Tennessee. Samaritan's Purse deployed trucks from their base in North Wilkesboro to assist. 3 staff members are in Arkansas and Kentucky.
These disaster pictures, they are everywhere, and they cover stretches over several states, not just one area, which is why there are a lot of pleas for help. And unfortunately, I have to tell you that scammers know that there's all these pleas.
In this time of need, if you want to give, don't wait until you get a text or an email. Go directly to the site that you want to give money to.
I mean, I hate that we have to talk about it, but scammers don't miss an opportunity, and they have your number and your email addresses, so they're going to get in touch with you.
I mean, they come out at the worst times. You know, they hit people when they're down all the time.
So even if it looks legit, I got to tell you guys, always go directly to the site like Lachelle said, whether that be the American Red Cross or Salvation Army or what have you.
So Tanya, what about GoFundMe pages? I've seen so many new GoFundMe sites just within the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of them out there, and GoFundMe really has gotten much wiser since the company first started. Let me show you this. In fact, when you go on their site today, it has an entire section dedicated to the tornado victims, and what the site has done is they have verified the accounts to help folks who want to help, like me and you, have a little more peace of mind that the story behind the post is actually real.
According to their website, GoFundMe says that they have verified that the person has a connection to the pictures of the people that you see, and that the money is not released to the person who set up the fund, but is released to the individuals that the money is allegedly for. After that, you don't really know how the money's going to be used.
So what she's saying is that the person could say that they're going to rebuild their house, but then decide, you know what, we're not going to rebuild. We're going to use the money to rent an apartment and take the family on the vacation so we can forget about the disaster. And you just have to be okay with knowing that when you give money to GoFundMe, the money can be used for other things than maybe what they are saying specifically on the site.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it makes me wonder though, like, is it just better to do an American Red Cross donation or something specific like that?
It really, it's personal preference, and Lachelle and I talked about that for a while. You just have to know that when you're giving to a person or you're giving to a family, that they're going to be the ones who decide how it's best used. And if you're okay with that because you just want to give to them, then that's okay. Are you guys feeling like one way or the other about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the middle because there's a part of me that wants them, like as you said, Tanya, if I'm okay with that, then who cares, right? I give them the money, and what you do with it is your thing.
Right.
But then there's also a part of me that worries that if they do that, is that really helping? You know, are they going to make the right decision? So I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one.
All right, so maybe giving money isn't your thing, and maybe this is all too complicated. Here's something that you can do. How about giving blood? The hospitals impacted need it. Our local facilities need it. You can donate blood at the Holiday Blood Drive. It happens to be tomorrow, so this is great timing if you want to help those people who have been impacted in the disaster. It's tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Greensboro Coliseum Complex. You can walk in or you can make an appointment.
You lost so much and so quickly. So we are committed, the President and I and our administration, to helping you and to helping to heal the wounds, which will probably be long lasting.
President Biden will travel to Kentucky on Wednesday to assess the damage from the tornado outbreak. The president approved a disaster declaration for the state, which is the hardest hit by the tornadoes across the Midwest and South.
This is Mayfield, Kentucky. I mean, it's just devastating.
President Biden held a briefing with his emergency response coordinators and says he'll travel to Kentucky to see for himself the damage from this weekend's deadly tornadoes.
So many of the people are facing immense loss. And we talked about how we can accelerate and expand federal assistance to those in desperate need.
The president has already approved an emergency declaration and a major disaster declaration, which, among other things, allows the federal government to send in search and rescue teams, provides federal dollars for local government responses, and helps with housing for those people who have been displaced by the storms.
This administration has made it clear to every governor, whatever they need, when they need it, make it known to me, and we'll get it to them as rapidly as we can.
Tornadoes of this size and severity are incredibly rare in December, and President Biden has asked the Environmental Protection Agency to determine whether these twisters are a result of climate change.
There's a lot of things that we don't know for certain, and I don't want to say anything that is not precisely true.
The Biden administration says climate change is impacting the weather, even if this tornado isn't tied to climate change.
Because of the change in climate, because of the threat the climate crisis poses, that we have seen more extreme weather events.
Scientists say it's easier to tie extreme weather events such as wildfires and flooding to climate change than tornadoes.
Navant Health is now offering booster doses to teenagers ages 16 and 17 years old. Teens can get their booster at the Haynes Mall Clinic on Tuesdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pfizer's vaccine is the only vaccine available for anyone under 18 years old. Anyone getting their booster will need to take their vaccine card with them. Cone Health also started giving out its boosters to the same age group. The FDA and CDC recommend anyone who received the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine get their booster 6 months after their second dose. Appointments are available at Cone Health's vaccination clinics, which operate Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Our state hit a somber milestone in the pandemic today. More than 19,000 North Carolinians have died from coronavirus. Get this, that's about the population of Lexington. Nearly 1,000 of those deaths have occurred in Guilford County. You'll also notice there are currently 69 coronavirus patients in Guilford County hospitals. That's on par with the numbers from last week, but about 20 higher than the week before.
The severe weather that occurred this weekend was all due to a cold front, and that's why we're feeling colder on today, that cold air rushing in thereafter. The lows for today, this is where we started, were in the 20s, very cold. Now, this obviously wasn't a record breaker. Luckily enough, we weren't at 0 degrees, but I would say it still kind of felt like it. I was out late last night. Highs for today, we soared into the 50s, upper 50s, kind of right around where we should be for this time of year. Ish, a little bit more on the milder side, and tomorrow we're going to be a little bit warmer. But like I said earlier in the newscast, things are staying dry even for tonight, going down to 31 degrees throughout the course of the next several hours, but staying dry. And this is sort of a look at the future, looking ahead to see what we can expect. That high pressure keeping us quiet for the next couple of days, but as we go towards the weekend, there is the possibility for us to see rain once again as another front sets itself up and sends us some shower activity. So that's possible Saturday, Sunday, and even going into your Monday evening. Could potentially see some more rainfall, but again, those are days out, and we still are, getting closer and closer to those days. We'll be able to get a little bit more accuracy as to what you can expect, but at least through Friday we should be dry. Rain chance returns possibly on Saturday. Have yet to show the 7-day, but there you have it. A look at the full forecast through the start of next week.
So I don't know, but if you're like me and my family, we're completely obsessed with classic holiday movies. I would guess that my wife watches Christmas Vacation every other day. We have to watch them every year, but let's be honest, there's nothing like watching them on the big screen. That's the way they were intended to be seen. Well, now you can. I spoke with Megan Cope with the Carolina Theater about their holiday movie series. So Megan, I wait for this all year because there is nothing like seeing those classics up on the big screen again. Talk about this year and what we can expect for the Christmas movies.
Oh, we are so excited. We've got another 10 days of holiday movies ahead of us with a little bit of the Nutcracker Ballet mixed in there. But this week alone, we have The Perfect Holiday, we have Love Actually, Home Alone, Die Hard, and then we're gonna close out the series next week with A Christmas Story, White Christmas, It's a Wonderful Life. Some of our heavy hitters will be ready for you.
Talk a little bit about safety measures this year. Is it masks? Is it vaccinations? To let us know.
So we are still requiring masks here at the theater for the health and safety measures to keep our guests and staff comfortable and happy. And we're also asking that everybody over the age of 12 provide either proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the performance. But you're welcome to lower your mask to enjoy your snacks, your popcorn, and really enjoy the movie. But just to keep everybody happy and healthy and safe, we're doing what we can for the community.
So talk about reaction to this, because this is something people wait for every year, and it's so funny. We've seen these movies 8 million times and it doesn't matter.
It's just magical to see it in the theater surrounded by your friends and family. I know that a lot of people have built their holiday traditions around coming to the theater. I know every year we come to see White Christmas because that's my favorite, so I get to make that decision in my family. But it's definitely a holiday tradition that we all look forward to, and we're delighted to be back and doing it at full capacity this year. We were able to do it last year. It was just a slightly smaller audience cap, and we're delighted to be here.
I cannot wait. This is good stuff. And also, I knew we had something together there because White Christmas, yes. Thank you. That's my favorite too.
That's the one.
Thanks a lot, Meg. We'll see you there. It's funny, we got off on a tangent and started talking about that. Because White Christmas is a classic, but it's not like people's favorites anymore, but it's because it was a thing with my family growing up, so it's one of my favorites. But to see those on the big screen and in a historic theater at the Carolina, that's awesome.
And the video there is absolutely beautiful. I've never been in there before, but it seems like that would just be a fun thing to do with the family that's, easy and fun to do.
I think it opened in the 1920s.
Did it really?
Wow.
That's a beautiful theater.
I've never been inside either, but from the outside it looks stunning. I love the movie theater anyway, so I think it'd be awesome to see a Christmas classic in there, just with the whole atmosphere. Do they sell hot chocolate too?
I think they do, yes. I know at the concessions it's the normal stuff, snacks and popcorn and all that, but I'm pretty sure.
Because wouldn't that be wonderful to sit there and watch Elf and have
the cherry
some
on
hot
top?
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, and those classic movies, so they've shown a couple already, but you still have more than 10 days worth of this. And I think It's a Wonderful Life, it wraps it all up. On the 23rd, don't quote me, I think that's the day, and they're doing a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. on that day for that one. So
something fun for the family to do.
That's right.
All right, well, keeping it with the Christmas spirit, gift cards are an easy Christmas gift, especially if you're running out of time to shop. But reports show about $14.2 billion was left on gift cards last year. And a survey found that 51% of Americans have at least one unused gift card. A lot of money unspent. So I asked you out on Facebook, would you rather receive a gift card or cash, and why? Larry McCraw says cash, it don't have an expiration date. Trisha Jean says cash because I can spend every penny of it how I want. Lashy wrote gift card because you can use them later and cash goes so fast. Then Rashawn Sanders says Cash App is just fine too. And Deborah Tennant says cash because I don't have to do anything but spend it. Yeah.
I like gift cards. I don't know why. I like gift cards a little bit better than cash, and I don't know why that is. I just think it's easier than like if everybody gave you cash, you wouldn't want to carry all that around, right?
That's true.
I like the gift cards.
I like the cash better, but I like the gift cards if it's to a place that I actually like and I actually enjoy, like Bath and Body Works or Ulta. We were talking about that earlier. But when you get all the restaurant gift cards, those kind of start to sit in my wallet, especially if it's one that I'm not too familiar with or isn't close by.
So I would say gift cards, but I was just thinking about this. My husband cleaned out our desk drawers the other day, and he found $66 worth of Starbucks gift cards that were mine that I totally forgot about.
Oh my gosh.
So he put them on the app. So now I have a lot of Starbucks
Monique
gift
looks
cards
like
to use.
Monique
She's
looks
like, give me
"Don't
some.
forget me." That's right. That's right.
I think my mom is one of those 51% of Americans because she's a teacher, so every year her students will always give her the gift card.
Oh, yeah.
So she'll like months down the line, oh, I found this Dunkin' Donuts gift card in my purse. But I disagree with you, Eric. If I have to walk around with a wad of cash, I'm not complaining.
I'm afraid somebody's going to take
Make it
it.
rain.
It'll be my luck. They'll see me dish it out. Yeah. Well, plus, if you let some gift cards don't expire, some do. Is that correct, or do they all expire?
Some do expire, like especially some of those food ones. You kind of have to look in the corner. It'll be like used
That's
by
just silly.
12/ whatever. And you're like, oh, it's been sitting here all year and now I can't use it.
Too late. Yeah. All right. Let us know what you think on Facebook, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Technical Sergeant Malcolm Bentley, here deployed at Ali Salim, Kuwait. From Columbus Air Force Base, I just want to give a shout out and say happy holidays to my beautiful wife, my 2 kids, and my family back home. Can't wait to see y'all.
A new law in France criminalizes school bullying. The proposed legislation will make it a criminal offense that students or staff can be held accountable for. Those found guilty could face up to $59,000 and up to 3 years in prison if the bullying forces a victim to miss school or work for up to 8 days. That's not all. Sentences can increase to 10 years imprisonment if the victim takes their own life or even tries. Social media companies will also have responsibility for moderating harassing content, according to Parliament.
Wow.
So when I first heard this, I was like, this is I'm glad that they're kind of cracking down, but I did not realize those are stiff penalties. Like that's no joke. This is not a teach you a lesson, you know, when you're young kind of thing. This is a life thing.
Yeah, and I think it will just help to kind of like wipe out that bullying, at least that severe bullying, like that penalty for the suicide part, because we do see this happen in our schools, and it's like, oh, if only we had caught that sign, if only we had done this.
Yeah.
This will kind of help to put a stop to that.
Yeah, when I was younger, I seen a Lifetime movie just when I was in middle school showcasing the fact of someone, you know, being bullied in school and then end up, you know, committing suicide, unfortunately. And it's like, that was years ago, I was a child, and that's still happening today. So things like this need to happen.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Getting worse.
All right, you think about that. We'll take a short break. My 2 cents coming up.
I was like, what is that noise?
Juju on that beat. Juju on that beat.
Lift your belly up.
Really? Yeah, the kids.
Kids love anything. Hey, is this me or is that Lauren?
Western Kentucky.
Oh, I forget I'm still in the show. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's called milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I missing a dance party in this?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
It's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm turning my thoughts and my prayers west to Kentucky.
Our state was hit by at least 4 tornadoes.
All of us have been watching the coverage of these horrible, devastating, massive tornado outbreak that covered a lot of states, but most of this video we're seeing from Kentucky, these images are heartbreaking of people picking up through the rubble and trying to find loved ones, and over 100 still unaccounted for, lots of deaths. It has been difficult to watch. And for those of us in our part of the world, even though we don't see as many tornadoes as they do in Tornado Alley, of course, we still will have that one every so often that we have to deal with. As someone who's covered weather for more than 3 decades and understand the power of this, it is truly devastating, and it's heartbreaking to watch these people go through this. When we do severe weather coverage, inevitably we will get phone calls and emails, and lots of them sometimes saying, I can't see my favorite show. Why are you staying on TV? This is over. So what I want you to do is the next time you have an urge to do that, think about these images, these pictures of people looking for spouses and relatives and, God forbid, children, neighbors, and think that we're doing this for a very important reason, to save lives. And our inconvenience that we can't see a particular show is temporary. Nowadays, everything's online anyway. I just want you to think about that the next time you want to complain about severe weather coverage, because it is a very, very important thing that needs to happen to save lives. So look at those images of Kentucky and understand that. And more importantly, hug your loved ones tonight. And that's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Shot in the leg outside the IHOP restaurant near Wendover Avenue.
Dozens of police are